Welcome back to Mac's Garage. As always, hit the like, share, subscribe if you like what you see. Helps me out and I appreciate it. And the notification thing too. Today I'm standing here with my 2012 Ram 2500 5.7 gas Hemi engine vehicle, and I'm going to be installing a fuel pump. Now, a big reason I'm putting the fuel pump in is because the bed is already off the truck. So if you are looking at installing an in-tank pump, there's usually kind of two schools of thoughts on how you do that on a pickup. One is you drop the tank, two is you remove the bed. And then there's a third option where you just hack a hole above it and go in through the top. Not a big fan of that one myself. If you're doing that, you're clearly not a professional shop. So it is what it is. Typically, I drop the fuel tank out, and the reason for that is because you've got a bunch of bolts that you have to remove to get a bed off, and where I live, they tend to break. Now, this truck is from the Detroit area, so it's kind of a little less rusty than what I'm used to seeing. It's a nice southern to me truck. A lot of people are thinking Detroit's the Rust Belt, not compared to where I'm at. So this one came apart. I got all the bolts out that I needed to, and I'm ready to get at the fuel pump. Now, the fuel pump itself, I have a Delphi unit. I didn't realize this before I took the bed off, but this one's been changed before with a Delphi unit, so I may actually be able to get that warrantied out. The reason I'm changing this one is because when you leave the truck off, or I guess just when you shut the truck off, fuel pressure drains back into the tank, and every once in a while it runs like it maybe isn't getting enough fuel and just kind of feels like it's a little bit starved here and there. So I'm going to go ahead, drop a new fuel pump in this, and show you kind of how to do that. Now, this is obviously bed already removed, so if you have a bed that you don't have removed, sometimes you can just loosen up the side that the tank is on, prop the thing up with a couple of 2x4s or some wooden blocks, and get enough access to get in there. Again, I usually don't do that because the bed bolts break, and when bed bolts break, it's a real nightmare. When fuel tank straps break, it's not that big of a deal. Fuel tank straps and bolts are usually pretty easy to change compared to the bed bolts. So let's get you in a position where we can see the pump, and we'll swap this baby out. All right, now what I should be able to do is start this. Maybe. Was running. Where's my fuel level at? Huh? Says it's got fuel. Now I should be able to start this. Okay, you're just gonna get a little bit of a shot with some, cross member right there. That's just what we're gonna do. Two connectors here. One is the supply, and then this one is the fuel. Now, they've already whoever put this pump in before, kind of rigged it a little bit. And basically, I'm gonna do the same thing when I put it back together. But they've got a zip tie in here. This does work. There's not really a lot of pressure on these when you do this kind of stuff. So I've got the zip tie cut, and now we're going to figure out if it held pressure this time or not, because that's kind of the deal. If it held pressure, then I should have released it and it's going to spray fuel out of here. If it didn't hold pressure, then nothing will really come out. Yeah, this is very accessible, very easy, and that's why this is a tempting way to go. Okay. So the zip tie is totally out. Now this thing has been like 50-50 if it holds pressure or not. So being that I'm about to remove this, I almost guarantee it worked this time, so we're gonna have some spray. Nope, didn't. So that's fine. Didn't hold pressure. That actually works out better. I'm gonna try to find a little cup that I can put in there and block that off, and then we'll remove the lock ring and the pump. Now, there is actually a special tool that hooks into all these little holes on the outside. And if you have that, that's great, but I don't. So I'm gonna use a smaller punch than this because it doesn't fit. Okay, so I'm gonna use just a metal punch, a steel punch, and a hammer, and maybe make some sparks. But I'll drive this lock ring around. Okay, that one came off pretty easy. Again, this just, it's kind of a southern truck to me, and it's... Alright, so now with that out, what we want to do is, and I forgot to mention this before, I had already cleaned this area up pretty good. That's why it looks moist, because I sprayed it with water, so even the dirt that's here should be nice and stuck. I'll just go ahead and lift this unit out. Oh, that's good. It fits through there real nice. Holy shit. Come on, baby. There it is. This one does not fit well. Okay. That's good. Just dump gas everywhere. It's fine. With that out of there, I'm going to go ahead and grab this rubber O-ring. And I'm just going to get a blue rag and kind of clean that area up. Once that's cleaned up, we'll take our fresh O-ring, drop it in place, grab our new fuel pump. Some of them come without the lever arm for the fuel level on them. Make sure you snap it in place. That's what that clicking noise there was. And we're gonna go ahead, feed the float in first. Boy, this just doesn't fit real well. Okay. That torqued more on that float level arm than I really like, but it is what it is. Drop it in. Put our lock ring down. Spin it a little bit by hand. That's all I got by hand. Make sure all of these things are on the proper side of the lock ring. Grab our majigger again and spin it back. Okay, that one went in. These ones are in. Needs to go that way a little bit. I don't really know how I'm going to do that though. There it is. Alright, so now the lock ring is totally good around there. I'll pull this little majigger out, pull the cap off, put that back on. I need to grab a zip tie because that clip is gone. And go ahead and plug the fuel pump wiring back in. Okay, that just locked. Nope, did not lock. Okay. There it is. Now it's actually locked on. I need a zip tie still. And this zip tie will work because the seals are in this black plastic part. This is just kind of keeping it from blowing apart. Okay, so that's in there, and that will not come off. Realistically, it's typically a plastic retainer that holds it anyway. Not super big fan of this because it is harder to deal with, but it's there and it's working. So now, go ahead and fire up the truck. Okay, So we'll key on, key off, key on. I can hear the fuel pump. You probably can't over me talking and the dinging in here. So there's 2. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll fire it up. It'll probably barble a little bit, but it should start pretty decent. Oh, started great. Fantastic. All right. That's it for the fuel pump. It's all good to go, ready to be whatever it is. Hopefully, hopefully this doesn't have the drain back issues. And if it runs a little bit better, that'd be real cool too. But in any event, hit the like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you later.